ॐ शुक्लाम्भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्याये सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 अगजाननपद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे श्रीमहागणपतये नमः गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां श्रीहयग्रीवमुपास्महे श्रीहयग्रीवमूर्तये नमः सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः उमाकोमलहस्ताब्जसम्भावितललाटकं हिरण्यकुण्डलं वन्दे कुमारं पुष्करस्रजं வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு ஹரஹரோஹரா லோகவீரியம் மகாபூஜ்யம் சர்வரக்ஷாகரம் விபும் பார்வதி ஹிருதயானந்தம் சாஸ்தாரம் பிரணமாம்யகம் சுவாமியே சரணமையப்பா वागर्ताविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्त प्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ श्रीपार्वती परमेश्वराभ्यां नमः कोमलं कूजयन् वेणुं श्यामलोऽयं कुमारकः वेदवेद्यं परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव पीताम्बरं करविराजितचक्रशङ्खकौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणासमुद्रं राधासहायम् अतिसुन्दरमन्दहासं वातालयेशम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि कृष्णो रक्षतु मां चराचरगुरुः कृष्णं नमस्ये सदा कृष्णेनैव सुरक्षितोऽहमसकृत् कृष्णाय दत्तं मनः कृष्णादेव समुद्भवो मम विभो कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहं कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन् हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं नम्राणां सन्निधत्ते सततमपि पुरस्तैरणभ्यर्थितानपि आर्तान् कामानजस्रं वितरति परमानन्दसान्द्रां गतिं च इत्थं निःशेषलभ्यो निरवधिकफलः पारिजातो हरे त्वं क्षुद्रं तं चक्रवाटी ध्रुममभिलषति व्यर्थमर्त्यव्रजोऽयं श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं श्रीभट्टपादम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि वंशी विभूषितकरात् नवनीरदाभात् पीताम्बरात् अरुणबिम्बफलादरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने കൈരണ്ടും കൂപ്പി ഞാൻ വീണ്ടുമീറക്കുന്നു നീരജലോചന നിന്നോടായി ഏതേനോ മന്യനെ കുമ്പിടേണ്ട തോറു രീതിയിൽ നീ എന്നെ പാലിക്കനായി കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ. Good evening everyone. Okay, let me just see. Okay, so let's I think 45 we left at 8, right? So we'll continue from 9. Kannan, you can be a student first half. Arjuna, is it Purna, is it you or?
Yes, Rajeshri. Yeah.
Okay, can you be a student?
Little difficult, Rajeshri, today.
Okay, no worries. Lavanya, can you be first after?
Sure, Rajesh.
Yeah. Okay. So so we start with the ninth one, Dasakam 45, ninth stanza. मम खलु बलिगेहे याचनं जातमास्ताम् इह पुनरबलानामग्रतो नैव कुर्वे इति विहितमतिः किं देव सन्त्यज्य याच्ञां दधिघृतमहरस्त्वं चारुणाचोरणेन. So in the last stanza, we saw how Krishna used to, he used to dance and sing and do all those things so that the Gopikas can give him the butter and milk and everything. So here Bhattadipat is telling, probably Krishna must have thought when I took the Vamana Avataram, I had to go to Maharaja Bali's house and go beg for three feet of land. He says in this Avataram, I'm not going to beg for anything. So that's why maybe he decided to steal. So that's why Krishna said, I'll rather go steal rather than go beg from these Gopikas. So maybe that's why you went and stole. Dhadi is, of course, the curd, and Ghritam is referring to butter. So that's why you went to all these Gopikas' house and you found these various ways of being able to steal this butter and ghee and everything. So, Mama Khalu Bali Gehe Yachanam Jatamastham. Put a im at the end of that line, comma. Next line, the miha becomes iha. Iha punarabalanam agrato. If you want to break it, that im you can break it. Punarabalanam agrato naiva kurve. Iti vihita matihi. Put a ich sound, matih kim deva santyajya yachnyam. So yach yachnyam, nyam, nyam, yachnyam, comma. Dhadi घृतमहरस्त्वं charuna choranena. Mama khalu baligehe yachanam jatamastam iha punarabalanam agrato naiva kurve iti vihitamatih kim deva santyajya yachnyam dhadi घृतमहरस्त्वं charuna choranena.
Mama khalu baligehe yachanam jatamata iha punarabalana magrato naiva kurve iti vihitamati kim deva santyajya yatya dadigrita maharasvam charuna choranena. Mama khalu baligehe yachanam jatamata iha punarabalana magrato naiva kurve iti vihitamati kim deva santyajya yatya dadigrita maharasvam charuna choranena.
Mama khalu baligehe yachanam jatamastam iha punarabalanam agrato naiva kurve iti vihitamate kim deva santyajya yachnyam dhatigrita maharastvam charuna choranena. Mama khalu baligehe yachanam jatam astam iha punarabalanam agrato naiva kurve iti vihitamate kim deva santyajya yachnyam dadigritam aharastvam charuna choranena.
Stanza 10. Sabadhadighritamoshe ghoshayosha jananam abhajata hridi rosho navakasham na shokah hridayamapi mushitva harsha sindhau nyadhastvam samama shamaya rogan vatageha dhinatha. So he says, now even though Krishna, you found different ways to steal this butter and ghee from these gopikas never got rosho or shoka. They never got sorrow, nor did they get angry at you. I mean, they got angry, but only in a very friendly and a childish way, but they never were truly angry. In fact, eventually, hridayamapi, you also stole their hearts. And by that also they did not get angry. They only were in a state of bliss because of all the thing that you do. So that Vata Gehadinatha, that Lord of Guruvayur, please Shamaya Rogan, please eradicate all the ailments I have. Tava Dadi Ghrita Moshe Ghosha Yosha Jananam, put a im again, Jananam, comma. Next the ma becomes a, Abhajada Hridi Rosho Navakasham na Shokaha Hridayamapi Mushitva हर्ष सिन्धौ न्यदास्त्वं, स मम शमय रोगान् वात गेहादिनाथ। तव धरिघृतमोषे घोषयोषा जनानाम् अभजत हृदि रोषो नावकाशं न शोकः। हृदयमपि मुषित्वा हर्षसिन्धौ न्यदास्त्वं स मम शमय रोगान् वात गेहाधिनाथ।
तव दधिकृतमोषे घोषयोषा जनानाम् अभजत हृदि रोषो नावकाशं न शोकः। हृदयमपि मुषित्वा हर्षसिन्धौ यदा न्यदा त्वं स मम शमय रोगान् वात गेहादिनाथ। तव दधिकृतमोषे घोषयोषा जनानाम् अभजत हृदि रोषो नावकाशं न शोकः। हृदयमपि मुषित्वा हर्षसिन्धौ न्यदा त्वं स मम शमय रोगान् वात गेहादिनाथ।
तव दधि गृहतमोषे घोषयोषा जनानाम् अभजत हृदि रोषो नावकाशं न शोकः। हृदयमपि मुष्टित्वा हर्षसिन्धौ न्यधास्त्वं स मम शमय रोगान् वात गेहाधिनाथ। तव दधि गृहतमोषे घोषयोषा जनानाम् अभजत हृदि रोषो नावकाशं न शोकः। हृदयमपि मुष्टित्वा हर्षसिन्धौ न्यधास्त्वं स मम शमय रोगान् वात गेहादिनाथ।
So this one, although it says, "Oh Vata Gehadinatha, please eradicate my ailments," this has two more stanzas after that, right? I don't know why that is the case. I don't know if at some point it got added later. I don't know that, but anyway, we'll say that. So I don't know if some books don't have it. So I hope at least Kannan, you and Lavanya have that. I sent the Sanskrit text there, right, for that. So stanza 11. शाखाग्रेत विधुं विलोक्य फलमित्यम्बां च तातं मुहुः सम्प्रार्थ्यात तदा तदीय वचसा प्रोत्क्षिप्तबाहौ त्वयि चित्रं देवशसीसते कर्मघात् किं भ्रूमहे सम्पतः ज्योतिर्मण्डलपूरिता किल वपुः प्रागाविराड्रूपताम्. So let's say 11 and 12 meaning together. शाखाग्रे विदुं विलोक्य, फलम् इत्यम्बां च तातं मुहुः.
शाखाग्रेतன்னு இருக்கே.
शाखाग्रे இந்த ரெண்டு book, that's what even I was saying, but now when I look at this script I sent, it doesn't have the शाखाग्रेत vidum vil शाखाग्रेत, correct. I think this script I sent is a wrong thing. So शाखाग्रेत vidum vilokya, फलमित्यम्बां च तातं मुहुः, सम्प्रार्थ्यात तदा तदीय वचसा, प्रोत्क्षिप्त बाहौ त्वयि. This is the four-liner tune. शाखाग्रेत विधुं विलोक्य फलमित्यम्बां च तातं मुहुः सम्प्रार्थ्यात तदा तदीय वचसा प्रोत्क्षिप्त बाहौ त्वयि.
शाखाग्रेत विदुं विलोक्य फलमित्यम्बां च तातं मुहुः सम्प्रार्थ्यत तदा तदीय वचसा प्रोक्षिप्त बाहो त्वयि. शाखाग्रेत विदुं विलोक्य फलमित्यम्बां च
फलमित्यम्बां
शाखाग्रेत विदुं विलोक्य फलमित्यम्बां च तातं मुहुः सम्प्राप्यार्थ तदा तदीय वचसा प्रोक्षिप्त बाहो त्वयि.
शाखाग्रेत विधुं विलोक्य फलमित्यम्बां च तातं मुहुः सम्प्रार्थ्यात तदा तदीय वचसा प्रोक्षिप्त बाहौ त्वयि. शाकाग्रेत विधुं विलोक्य फलमित्यम्बां च तातं मुहुः सम्प्रार्त्यात तथा तदीयवचसा प्रोक्षिप्त बाहौ त्वयि.
Lavanya and Karan, the twai one is not a long e, it's a short e. Okay, so just try to cut that twai, right? Just don't stretch it konjam on that.
प्रोक्षिप्त बाहौ त्वयि.
Twai, that's it, yeah. Chitram deva shashi sate karamagat, comma, kim brumahe sampataha, comma, jyotir mandala puritakhila vapuhu is there, put a f, vapuh, praga birad rupatam. So that word, that line is together, fourth line. Chitram deva shashi sate karmaghat kim bhrumahe sampatah jyotirmandala purita kila vapuh praga birad rupatam.
चित्रं देव शशी सते करमगात् किं ब्रूमहे सम्पतः ज्योतिर्मण्डलपूरिता किल वपुः प्रागः विराट रूपतः चित्रं देव शशी सते करमगात् किं ब्रूमहे सम्पतः ज्योतिर्मण्डलपूरिता किल वपुः प्रागः विराट रूपतः
चित्रं देवशशी सते करमगात् किं ब्रूमहे सम्पतः ज्योतिर्मण्डलपूरिताखिल वपुः प्रागाविराड्रूपताम्. चित्रं देवशशी सते करमगात् किं ब्रूमहे सम्पतः ज्योतिर्मण्डलपूरिताखिल वपुः प्रागाविराड्रूपताम्.
Stanza 12. So again the tune changes. Kim kim bhatedamiti sambhrama bhajamenam brahmarnavekshanamamum parimajyatatam mayam punastanaya mohamayim vitanvanne ananda chinmaya jaganmaya pahirogat. Just talks about another small story here. So one day, like all these small kids do, so Krishna was one day being fed by his mother and his father, and they were sitting outside in the courtyard and they were looking at the moon, and then Krishna was getting fed. So at that time, the moon was in such a position that it was at the tip of one of the barks of a tree. So Krishna then thought it was a fruit, like Hanuman thought. So he said, I want that fruit. So his dad Nandagopal says, you just call the fruit and the fruit will come. So Krishna then, what do you call it, the prokshipta baho. So Krishna then stretches his hands calling for that fruit. So when he does that, the moon ends up coming and suddenly entire body of Krishna gets lit. And for a very brief moment, Nandagopa actually sees that. But then immediately, like it always happens, like it happened to Yashoda also, right? He suddenly sees the entire world in Krishna's mouth, but in a fraction of a second, everything goes away and she comes back to normalcy. For a moment, Nandagopa got that bliss. Because if you look at it, Vasudeva, Devaki, they saw Krishna in Chaturbhujam. Yashoda saw Krishna with various leelas of looking inside his mouth and seeing her and all that she experienced. Nandagopa has not had any such instances. This was the only instance where Nandagopa actually sees that form of Krishna, right, where he feels like he's a universal consciousness and he feels that state of bliss. So Nandagopa briefly experiences it, but very soon, like you said, in a brief moment, he comes back to normalcy and everything it's forgotten and he's back to where he is. So Ananda Chinmaya Jaganmaya Pahiroga. So that Lord who is always keeps everybody in a state of bliss, please eradicate my ailments as well. So kim batedamiti sambrama bhajamenam, comma, brahmarnave kshanamamum parimajya tatam mayam punastanaya mohamayim bitanvanne, comma, ananda chinmaya jaganmaya pahi rogat. Kim kim batedamiti sambhrama bhajamenam brahmarnavekshanamamum parimajyatatam mayam punastanaya mohamayim bitanvanne ananda chinmaya jaganmaya pahi rogat.
किं किं बतेदमिति सम्भ्रम भाजमेनं ब्रह्मार्णवेषण क्षणममुं परिमत्यैतातं मायां पुनस्तनय मोहमयीं वितन्वन् आनन्दचिन्मय जगन्मय पाहि रोगात् किं बतेदमिति सम्भ्रमभाजमेनं ब्रह्मार्णवेक्षणममुं परिमत्यैतातं मायां पुनस्तनय मोहमयीं वितन्वन् आनन्दचिन्मय जगन्मय पाहि रोगात् श्री कृष्णाय परब्रह्म
किं वदेदमिति सम्भ्रमभाजमेनं ब्रह्मार्णवेक्षणममुं परिमज्यतातं मायां पुनस्तनय मोहमयीं वितन्वन् आनन्दचिन्मय जगन्मय पाहि रोगात् किं बतेदमिति सम्भ्रमभाजमेनं ब्रह्मार्णवेक्षणममुं परिमज्यतातं मायां पुनस्तनय मोहमयीं वितन्वन् आनन्दचिन्मय जगन्मय पाहि रोगात्
Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha.
சொல்ற சந்தேகம் அந்த பிரம்மார்ணவே க்ஷணமும் மத்தியைன்னு இருக்கு எனக்கு
Parimajya. Parimajya.
சரி
So that completes 45. So of course 46 we already saw, which is where the Yashoda gets the Vishwarupa Darshanam for Yashoda. 47, 48 was the Ulukala Bandhana Varnanam and the Nala Kubaran Manigriva getting freed, the trees getting freed. That was 47, 48. So we'll now go to 49. 49 is a very small chapter and I'll probably just combine some of the stanza meanings also. So it's Vrindavana Gamana Varnanam. That is the chapter. भवत्प्रभावा विदुराहि गोपाः तरुप्रपातादिकमत्र गोष्ठे अहेतुमुत्पातगणं विशङ्क्य प्रयातुमन्यत्र मनोवितेनुः. So the Gopas, of course, the Gopikas, they are not aware, Krishna, of your greatness and your mahima and your glory and everything. So when they saw all these instances happening, like the Nalakubara Manigriva, the trees, 2 trees fell in the previous Dasakam. So when they saw all that, they all thought that all of this is some bad omen, which is actually happening, ill omen. Like we also saw even Yashoda, when she felt that Krishna's weight was heavy, she thought some ill omen was happening because of which Krishna was feeling heavy. So what happens? All these elderly people, they all, the cowherd people gather, and then they say, what do we do to actually resolve this? What is one way to fix it? Because all of a sudden, after Krishna and Balarama have been born, especially after Krishna has been born in the last 6 months, all these things have been happening. So they all decide it is time for them to relocate into a different place altogether. So Bhavat Prabhava Vidura Hi Gopaha. So that is goes away, put a visarga comma. Taru Prapatadikam Atra, that's one word. Prapatadikam Atra Goshthe. Ahetum Utpata, if you want to break it, Ahetum Utpata Ganam Bishankya, comma, Prayatum Anyatra Mano Vitenuhu. Bhavat Prabhava Vidurahi Gopaha Taru Prapatadikamatra Goshthe Ahetum Utpata Ganam Bishankya Prayatum Anyatra Mano Vitenuhu.
Rajesh,
yeah
sorry Kannanji. The third line la ahetum upata ganam
Utpata Ganam.
ganam போட்டிருக்கு
Ganam. Im. Just ஒரே இது Ganam, the not Ganam. Ganam.
Bhavat Prabhava Vidurahi Gopaha Taru Prapatadikamatra Goshte Ahetumutpata Ganam Vishankya Prayatumanyatra Manovitenuhu. Bhavat Prabhava Vidurahi Gopaha Taru Prapatadikamatra Goshte Ahetumutpata Ganam Vishankya Prayatumanyatra Manovitenuhu.
भवत् प्रभावा विदुराहि गोपाः तरुप्रपातादिकम् अत्र घोष्टे अहेतुमुत्पातगणं विशङ्क्य प्रयातुमन्यत्र मनोवितेनुः. भवत्प्रभावा विदुरा हि गोपाः तरुप्रपातादिकमस्त्रघोष्ठे अहेतुमुत्पातगणं विशङ्क्य प्रयातुमन्यत्र मनोवितेनुः.
Stanza 2. तत्रोपनन्दाभिरगोपवर्यो जगौ भवत्प्रेरणयैव नूनम् इतः प्रतीच्यां विपिनं मनोज्ञं वृन्दावनं नाम विराजतीति. So at this meeting, there was one of the cowherd whose name was Upananda. So that Upananda, who's one of the most mature person among the cowherds in terms of knowledge and everything. So he says, you know what? If you look at all the things that has happened ever since this child has been born, once we saw some nice lady came, but then that lady ended up being this massive demon who they had to cut and then throw her. Then they said, okay, then we know Yashoda had put the baby next to a cart. Then the cart got completely shattered, but luckily nothing happened to the baby. Then the wind came and the wind then took the baby. Then we saw how the baby then somehow survived all that. And then even recently, you know, when Yashoda had tied the baby to that mortar, he ended up going between the two trees, and then, you know, the trees broke, but nothing happened to the baby. The baby was somehow saved. So he said all of this is because of some great, you know, good things that Nandagopa and Yashoda have done, but somehow this place is not right for us to be here. So they say he says there's another place called Vrindavanam, which is very suitable. It's because they are all cowherds, right? So they look for a place where there's a river which is there, and there are a lush. So he says, I know this place where it is very luscious green, and there's mountains and forests and trees and everything, and Yamuna also goes there, so we should all relocate to this place called Vrindavan. So they all decide to go there. So Krishna's time in Gokula was very, very limited. And if you look at the geography or the map of it, Yamuna is flowing. On the right side, on the east side is Gokulam. On the west side, northwest is Mathura. Further north of Mathura is Vrindavan. So they kind of essentially take the journey and they decide to move to Vrindavan. So Vrindavana is actually name of a forest. So that's the name of a forest called Vrindavana that became Vrindavan as a place after they settled. Tatropanandabhida gopavaryo, jagau bhavat prerana yaiva noonam, itaha is there, put a F, itah pratichyam vipinam manognyam, Vrindavanam nama virajatiti, short e. Tatropanandabhidagopavaryo jagau bhavat preranayaiva noonam itah pratichyam vipinam manognyam Vrindavanam nama virajatiti.
तत्रोपनन्दाभिदगोपवर्यो जगौ भवत्प्रेरणयैव नूनम् इतः प्रतीच्यां विपिनं मनोज्ञं वृन्दावनं भवनं नाम विराजतीति तत्रोपनन्दाभिदगोपवर्यो जगौ भवत्प्रेरणयैव नूनम् इतः प्रतीच्यां विपिनं मनोज्ञं वृन्दावनं नाम विराजतीति.
तत्रोपनन्दाभिदगोपवर्यो जगौ भवत्प्रेरणयैव नूनम् इतः प्रतीच्यां विपिनं मनोज्ञं वृन्दावनं नाम विराजतीति. तत्रोपनन्दाभिदगोपवर्यो जगौ भवत्प्रेरणयैव नूनम् इतः प्रतीचयां विपिनं मनोज्ञं Vrindavanam nama virajatiti.
Now, it's the third line, second time, you said pratichayam. It's just pratichyam.
Pratichyam. Okay.
Yeah.
Pratichyam.
Stanza 3. Brihadvanam tat khalu nanda mukhyaha. Put a visarga and a comma there. Sorry, current question.
Rajesh, the முதல் ரெண்டாவது செகண்ட் லைன் வந்து ஜகோ பவத் பிரேரண யைவ நூனம் தானே?
ஆமா.
இந்த புக்ல வந்து நைவ நூனம்னு போட்டிருக்கு. சோ அதனால தான்.
ஓகே, பிரேரண யைவ
நூனம்.
Brihadvanam tat khalu nanda mukhyaha. So put a visarga there and comma. Vidhaya gaushti namata kshanena twadanvita twaj janani nivishta, and then put a plus, garishta yananugata vicheluhu. So I'll say 3 and 4 meaning together. Brihadvanam tat khalu nanda mukyaha vidhaya gaushtinamatakshanena tvadanvida tvajjanani nivishta garishta yananugata vicheluhu.
Brihat vadanam tatkalu nandamukyaha vidhaya gauti namatakshanena tvadanvita tvajjanani nivishta garishta yananugata chivicheluhu.
And the first word correct,
Brihat
Brihat Vanam.
vadanam tatkalu.
Sorry, Brihat Vanam. You're saying Brihat Vadanam. Brihat Vanam.
Brihat, sorry. Brihat vanam tatkalu nandamukyaha vidhaya gauti namatakshanena tvadanvita tvajjanani nivishta garishta yananugata vicheluhu.
बृहत् वनं तत् खलु नन्दमुख्याः विधाय गौष्ठीनम् अथ क्षणेन त्वदन्वितत्वज्जननी निविष्टगरिष्ठयान अनुगता विचेलुः.
The last time, just try to say that Yananugata. Just say it in one flow only.
यानानुगता विचेलुः. बृहत् वनं तत् खलु नन्दमुख्याः विधाय गौष्ठीनम् अथ क्षणेन त्वदन्वितत्वज्जननी निविष्टगरिष्ठ
I think the Nivishta, I think in the Nivishta is the halfway mark, okay? But you are making Garishta the halfway mark.
त्वदन्वितत्वज्जननी निविष्टगरिष्ठ यानानुगता विचेलुः.
Again, so let me say that line, right? Tvadanvidattvajjanani nivishta garishtayananugata vicheluhu.
त्वदन्वितत्वज्जननी निविष्ट गरिष्ठयानानुगता विचेलुः.
Yeah, there. That's it. Ano manognyadhvanidenu khura pranadantarato vadubihi bhavadvinodalapitakshārani prapiyanagnāyatamargadairyam. So now, because they were all like just regular cowherds, they didn't have many possessions or anything. So it was very easy for them to kind of wind everything up. So they just packed whatever they had and they completely abandoned Gokulam, right? Left their houses or sheds they had. They left it as is, pretty much took everything they had, packed it into bullock carts and horses and everything, and ended up leaving towards Vrindavanam. And even on the way, just Bhattacharya is talking about how when they went on the way, both so the mothers were taking care of the children because they were afraid something is going to happen to them on the way. So Krishna and Balarama were riding along with Rohini and Yashoda, and all along the way they were all talking about all the incidents that had happened to Krishna and just talking about all the activities that Krishna used to do and just constantly thinking about it amongst all the when they were going towards Vrindavan. Ano manognya dvani dhenu pali, and then put a plus, khura pranadantarato badubihi bhavat vinodala pitaksha rani. So that word you have to say it together only because it's multiple words mixed there. Bhavat vinodala pitaksha rani, short e, comma, prapiya nagnayata marga dairgyam. Ano manognyadvanidhenupali khura pranadantarato vadhubihi bhavadvinodalapitakshārani prapiyanagnāyatamargadairyam.
Ano manognyadvanidhenupali kulapranādantarato vadubihi bhavat vinodala pitakshārani prapiyanagnāyata margadairyam. Ano manognyadvanidhenupali kulapranādantarato vadubihi bhavat vinodala pitaksharani प्रपीयनाज्ञायत मार्गदैर्घ्यम्
मनोज्ञध्वनिधेनुपाली पुरा प्राणदातरतो वधूभिः विनोदालपिताक्षराणि प्रपीयन् नाज्ञायत मार्गदैर्घ्यम्.
And the first second line, pranadantarato.
प्रणदान्तरतो. मनोज्ञध्वनिधेनुपाली पुरप्रणदान्तरतो वधूभिः विनोदालपिताक्षराणि प्रपीयनाज्ञायत मार्गदैर्घ्यम्.
Well, maybe switch. Radha, are you on today?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Radha, you and Vikram can be students. Okay. Stanza 5. Nirikshya Vrindavanamisha Nandat. Put a plus. Prasuna Kunda Pramukha Drumaugham. So those two lines are together. Amodataha is there, put a ish. Amodatash Shadvala Sandra Lakshmiya, comma Harin Mani Kuttima Pushta Shobham. Nirikshya Vrindavanamisha Nandat Prasuna Kunda Pramukha Drumaugham Amodatash Shadvala Sandra Lakshmiya Harin Mani Kuttima Pushta Shobham.
निरीक्ष्य वृन्दावनमीशनन्दत् प्रसूनकुन्द प्रमुखद्रुमौखम् अमोददाश्चाध्वलसान्द्रलक्ष्म्या हरिन्मणिकुट्टिमपुष्टशोभम्. निरीक्ष्य वृन्दावनमीशनन्दत् प्रसूनकुन्द प्रमुखद्रुमौखम् अमोदधाश्चाद्वलसान्द्रलक्ष्म्या हरिन्मणिकुट्टिमपुष्टशोभम्.
Vikram, you're on mute.
निरीक्ष्य वृन्दावनमीशनन्दत् प्रसूनकुन्द प्रमुखद्रुमौघम् अमोदतशाद्वलसान्द्रलक्ष्म्या हरिन्मणिकुट्टिमपुष्टशोभम्. निरीक्ष्य वृन्दावनमीशनन्दत् प्रसूनकुन्द प्रमुखद्रुमौघम् अमोदतशाद्वलसान्द्रलक्ष्म्या हरिन्मणिकुट्टिमपुष्टशोभम्.
Stanza 6. Navaka Nirvyuda Nivasa Bhedeshu Ashesha Gopeshu Sukasiteshu Vanashriyam Gopa Kishora Pali Vimishritah Paryagalokathastvam. So that way they come to Vrindavan. So Vrindavan, where it says is always pleasant, because that place essentially is very lush. That was the reason they came, because the forest name was Vrindavana. That was the name of the forest. So of course it was just green trees and lush areas everywhere. And the Gopas and everybody, they started settling down and they started building their house in a semicircle. So that just talks about how they are settling down essentially. And Krishna, of course, has started growing. So he now starts wandering around that region of Vrindavana, enjoying the trees and the forest and everything. Navaka Nirvyuda Nivasa Bhedeshu. So you'll have ish and a va if you have it. We're going to break it and put a Nivasa Bhedeshu and then a comma, short u, Bhedeshu. Next word starts with the a. Ashesha Gopeshu Sukhasiteshu Vanashriyam Gopa Kishora Pali, long e, put a plus, Vimishritaha, put a f, Vimishrita Paryagalokatas Tvam. So that's those two lines are together. Navaka Nirvyudha Nivasa Bhedeshu अशेषगोपेषु सुखासितेषु वनश्रियं गोपकिशोरपाली विमिश्रितः पर्यगलोकतास्त्वम्
नवाकनिर्व्यूढनिवासभेदेषु अशेषगोपेषु सुखासितेषु वनश्रियं गोपकिशोरपाली विमिश्रितः पर्यगलो गतास्त्वम् नवाकनिर्व्यूढनिवासभेदेषु अशेषगोपेषु सुखासितेषु वनश्रियं गोपकिशोरपाली विमिश्रितः पर्यगलो गधास्त्वम्
नवाकनिर्व्यूढनिवासभेदेषु अशेषगोपेषु सुखासितेषु वनश्रियं गोपकिशोरपाली विमिश्रितः पर्यगलोकथास्त्वम् नवाकनिर्व्यूढनिवासभेदेषु अशेषगोपेषु सुखासितेषु वनश्रियं गोपकिशोरपाली विमिश्रितः पर्यगलोकथास्त्वम्.
Stanza 7. Arala margagata nirmalapam, comma, marala kujakrita narmalapam, nirantara smera saroja vaktram, comma, kalinda kanyam samalokayas tvam. Arala gata nirmalapam, marala kujakrita narmalapam, nirantara smera saroja vaktram, kalinda kanyam samalokayastvam.
अरालमार्गागतनर्मलापां मरालकूजाकृतनर्मलापां निरन्तरस्मेरसरोजवक्त्रां कलिन्दकन्यां समलोकयस्त्वम् अरालमार्गागतनर्मलापां मरालकूजाकृतनर्मलापां निरन्तरस्मेरसरोजवक्त्रां कलिन्दकन्यां समलोकयस्त्वम्
अरालमार्गागतनिर्मलापां मरालकूजाकृतनर्मलापां निरन्तरस्मेरसरोजवक्त्रां कलिन्दकन्यां समलोकयस्त्वम् अरालमार्गागतनिर्मलापां मरालकूजाकृतनर्मलापां निरन्तरस्मेरसरोजवक्त्रां कलिन्दकन्यां समलोकयस्त्वम्.
Stanza 8. मयूरकेकाशतलोभनीयं मयूखमालाशबलं मणीनां विरिञ्चलोकस्पृशमुच्चशृङ्गैः गिरिं च गोवर्धनमैक्षतास्त्वम्. This talks about Vrindavan. So he says the Kalinda Kanyam, daughter of Kalinda, which is referring to Kalindi, which is referring to the river Yamuna. So of course Yamuna was flowing through Vrindavan everywhere, which is the reason why Vrindavan, was like a lush forest area, right? And it talks about how, the sweet sound of the swans and everything which were singing were getting mixed with the river flow, and it was just a very beautiful place. And in addition to that, Vrindavan being a forest also had a lot of flora and fauna, right? It talks about how, the mayuram is referring to peacock. So the noise of the peacock and the peahens making noise and the beauty of that, along with this, more importantly, was not only the river but also Girincha Govardhana. So they also saw the mighty Govardhana mountain, which was also in Vrindavan. So as Krishna and his friends are exploring, they are seeing all these things as they're walking around. Mayura Keka Shata Lobhaniyam, comma, मयूक माला शबलम मणीनाम विरिंच लोक स्पृशम उच्च शृंगैहि. So put a visarga there, comma, shringaihi, visarga on comma. Next on top of that girim there will be ir that goes away. Girim cha govardhanam aikshatastvam. If you want to break it, govardhanam aikshatastvam. मयूरकेकाशतलोभनीयं मयूखमालाशबलं मणीनां विरिञ्चलोकस्पृशमुच्चशृङ्गैः गिरिं च गोवर्धनमैक्षतास्त्वम्. Radha, you're mute.
I was not able to unmute, so that's why, sorry. मयूरकेकाशतलोभनीयं मयूखमाला शबलं मणीनां विरिञ्जलोकस्पृशमुच्चशृङ्गैः गिरिं च गोवर्धनमैक्षधास्त्वम्. मयूरकेकाशतलोभनीयं मयूखमाला शबलं मणीनां विरिञ्जलोकस्पृशमुच्चशृङ्गैः गिरिं च गोवर्धनमैक्षधास्त्वम्.
मयूरकेकाशतलोभनीयं मयूखमालाशबलं मणीनां विरिञ्चलोकस्पृशमुच्चशृङ्गैः गिरिं च गोवर्धनमैक्षतास्त्वम्. मयूरकेकाशतलोभनीयं मयूखमालाशबलं मणीनां विरिञ्चलोकस्पृशमुच्चशृङ्गैः गिरिं च गोवर्धनमैक्षतास्त्वम्.
Stanza 9. Samam tato gopakumarakais-tvam, samantato yatra vanantamaghaha tatastam kutilamapashyaha, kalindajam ragavatim ivaikam. Samam tato gopakumarakais-tvam samantato yatra vanantamaghaha tatastam kutilamapashyaha kalindajam ragavatim ivaikam.
समं ततो गोपकुमारकैस्त्वं समन्ततो यत्र वनान्तमागाः ततस्ततस्तां कुटिलामपश्यः कलिन्दजां राघवतीमिवैकाम्. समं ततो गोपकुमारकैस्त्वं समन्ततो यत्र वनान्तमागाः ततस्ततस्तां कुटिलामपश्यः कलिन्दजां राघवतीमिवैकाम्.
समं ततो गोपकुमारकैस्त्वं समन्ततो यत्र वनान्तमागाः ततस्ततस्तां कुटिलामपश्यः कलिन्दजां राघवतीमिवैकाम्. समं ततो गोपकुमारकैस्त्वं समन्ततो यत्र वनान्तमागाः ततस्ततस्तां कुटिलामपश्यः कलिन्दजां राघवतीमिवैकाम्.
तथा विदेस्मिन् विपिने पशव्ये समुत्सुको वत्सगणप्रचारे चरन् सरामोतकुमारकैस्त्वं समीरगेहाधिपपाहि रोगात्. Just says in the previous stanza, wherever Krishna you went along with the Gopa boys in the forest as you were wandering, like a Ragavati means some like a maiden who is love struck, who is actually going after her beloveds, going after her lover. All those places you saw the Yamuna river also coming wherever you happen to go in the forest, because the forest is along the course of Yamuna river. So wherever Krishna is going, he's seeing Yamuna as if Yamuna is following him, because eventually he gets married to Kalindi, right, in the future. So anyway, Yamuna is following him. So this way you, Krishna, you and Balarama along with the Gopa boys, Vatsagana means the baby cows, the calves. So they start now tending to the calves because they reached this couple of 2-3 years of age probably at this point, where they start now tending to the calves and then taking care of it. So that Samira Geha Dipapahi Rohat, please eradicate my ailments. So this is the chapter transition where they're going from Gokulam to Vrindavan. So that is what is happening in this, pretty much in this chapter. Tata vidhesmin vipine pashavye, samutsuko वत्सगण प्रचारे चरन् सरामोत कुमारकैस्त्वं समीर गेहाधिप पाहि रोगात् तथा विधेऽस्मिन् विपिने पशव्ये समुत्सुको वत्सगण प्रचारे चरन् सरामोत कुमारकैस्त्वं समीर गेहाधिप पाहि रोगात्
तथा विधेऽस्मिन् विपिने पशव्ये समुत्सुको वत्सगण प्रचारे चरन् सरामोध कुमारकैस्त्वं समीर गेहाधिप पाहि रोगात् तथा विधेऽस्मिन् विपिने पशव्ये समुत्सुको वत्सगण प्रचारे चरन् सरामोध कुमारकैस्त्वं समीर गेहाधिप पाहि रोगात्
तथा विधेऽस्मिन् विपिने पशव्ये समुत्सुको वत्सगणप्रचारे चरन् सरामोऽथ कुमारकैस्त्वं समीरगे पाहि रोगात् तथा विधेऽस्मिन् विपिने पशव्ये समुत्सुको वत्सगणप्रचारे चरन् सरामोऽथ कुमारकैस्त्वं समीरगे पाहि रोगात्.
Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. It's a pretty quick chapter. We won't take the full class today. We'll just maybe do another 15 minutes, maybe 4 stanzas or so, and then we can stop today. So Dasakam 50 is Vatsasura Vadha Varnanam, Bakasura Vada Varnanam. So Vatsasura and Bakasura. Stanza 1. Tarala Madhukrit Vrindhe Vrindhavaneta Manohare पशुपशिशुभिः साकं वत्सानुपालनलोलुपः हलधरसको देव श्रीमन् विचेरितधारयन् गवलमुरलीवेत्रं नेत्राभिरामतनुद्युतिः. I'll combine the two stanzas for the meaning. Tharala madhukrit vrinde vrindavaneta manohare, pashupa shishubhihi, putta is shishubhis sakam वत्सानुपालन लोलुपः. तरल मधुकृत वृंदे वृंदावनेत मनोहरे पशुपशिशुभिः साकं वत्सानुपालन लोलुपः.
தரல எனக்கு ஒரு டவுட் தரல மது கிருத் அங்க what is that word
तरल मधुकृत वृंदे वृंदे
கிருத் கிருத்வான் இருக்கா
இல்ல கிருத் वृंदे
கிருத் விருந்தே ஓகே
யா கிருத் वृंदे
ஓகே ஓகே தரல தரல மது கிருத் விருந்தே वृन्दावनेध मनोहरे पशुपशिशुभिः साकं वत्सानुपालनलोलुपः. तरल मधुकृत वृन्दे वृन्दावनेध मनोहरे पशुपशिशुभिः साकं वत्सानुपालनलोलुपः.
तरलमधुकृद्वृन्दे वृन्दावनेथ मनोहरे पशुपशिशुभिः साकं वत्सानुपालन लोलुपः. तरलमधुकृद्वृन्दे वृन्दावनेथ मनोहरे पशुपशिशुभिः साकं वत्सानुपालन लोलुपः.
हलधर सखो देव श्रीमन् विचेरित धारयन् गवल मुरली वेत्रं नेत्राभिराम तनुद्युतिः. हलधर सखो देव श्रीमन् विचेरित धारयन् गवल मुरली वेत्रं नेत्राभिराम तनुद्युतिः.
हलधर सखो देव श्रीमन् विचेरितधारयन् गबलमुरलीवेत्रं नेत्राभिरामतनुद्युतिः हलधर सखो देव श्रीमन् विचेरिधधारयन् गबलमुरलीवेत्रं नेत्राभिरामतनुद्युतिः
हलधर सखो देव श्रीमन् विचेरिथ धारयन् धवलमुरलीं वेत्रं नेत्राभिरामतनुद्युतिः हलधर सखो देव श्रीमन् विचेरिथ धारयन् धवलमुरलीं वेत्रं नेत्राभिरामतनुद्युतिः
Stanza 2. विहित जगती रक्षं लक्ष्मीकराम्बुजलालितं ददति चरणद्वन्द्वं वृन्दावने त्वयि पावने किमिव न बभौ सम्पत् सम्पूरितं तरुवल्लरी सलिलधरणी गोत्र क्षेत्रादिकं कमलापते. So kind of continuous. This is going to be the calm before the storm now. So, in this beautiful Vrindavan, Krishna, when you, and then Haladhara is referring to the Balarama, the one who carries the hala. So you and Balarama, you start roaming around and tending to the calves along with all the boys. And then you, Krishna, were carrying Gavala Murali Vetram. Gavala is referring to the horn, like we spoke about. We also saw in the Aghast episode, he has a horn to call. Then the Murali is the flute and the Dhara Vetra is the stick. So you take all that, and you and Balarama were now wandering around with the boys in there. So then the next one, it says, you, Krishna, who is Kamalapate, one who is the consort of Lakshmi. So your 2 feet, which Mahalakshmi herself, is caressing, is touching your 2 feet. So if those 2 feet are walking along in the paths of Vrindavan, then what is there to say about that land? That land is so pious that automatically all the Vallari and the Salila, all the trees and the creepers and the lands and the hills and mountains, everything in there was full of prosperity, because those 2 feet of yours, where Mahalakshmi itself is touching, is there. So of course, automatically this entire place is becoming extremely prosperous because you are there. Vihita Jagati Raksham Lakshmi Karambuja Lalitam, Dadati Charana Dvandvam Vrindavane Twai Pavane Kimiva Na Bhabau Sampat Sampuritam Taru Vallari, long E, and then put a plus, Taru Vallari Salila Dharani Gotra Kshetradikam Kamalapate.
Rajesh, ஒரே சந்தேகம். இது Vrindavana.
It's always V as in Victor. Vrindavan. Okay. And the Vrindavan, the north, when the Hindi thing comes over, and the va becomes ba. Okay. So like the Vrindavan becomes Brindavan, and then the Narayaneeyam words get changed from va to ba.
Okay.
That's what happens there.
இல்ல இந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்லோகத்துல வந்து பிருந்தாவனேத மனோஹரேன்னு போட்டுருக்கு.
இல்ல பிருந்தாவன் வா விக்டர், V as in Victor.
அப்படியே
கிடையாது, வாதான். தரள மதுகிருத் விருந்தே விருந்தாவனேத மனோஹரே, வாதான். அது சான்ஸ்கிரிட்ல ஃபுல்லா அது வாதான் வருது, சொல்லி வா. Okay, I have to say this, right? Okay. Vihita Jagati Raksham Lakshmikarambujalalitam Dadati Charana Dvandvam Vrindavane Twai Pavane Kimiva na Babhau Sampat Sampuritam Taruvallari Salila Dharani Gotra Kshetradikam Kamalapate.
विहिद जगति रक्षं लक्ष्मीकराम्बुजलालितं ददति चरणद्वन्द्वं वृन्दावने त्वयि पावने किमिव न बभौ सम्पत् सम्पूरितं तरुवल्लरी सलिलधरणी गोत्रक्षेत्रादिकं कमलापते विहिद जगति रक्षं लक्ष्मीकराम्बुजलालितं दधति चरणद्वन्द्वं वृन्दावने त्वयि पावने किमिव न बभौ सम्पूरितं तरुवल्लरी सलिलधरणी गोत्रक्षेत्रादिकं कमलापते
जगति रक्षं लक्ष्मीकराम्बुजलालितं ददति चरणद्वन्द्वं वृन्दावने त्वयि पावने किमिव न बभौ सम्पूरितं तरुवल्लरी सलिलधरणी गोत्रक्षेत्रादिकं कमलापते जगति रक्षं लक्ष्मीकराम्बुजलालितं ददति चरणद्वन्द्वं वृन्दावने त्वयि पावने किमिव न बभौ सम्पूरितं तरुवल्लरी सलिलधरणी गोत्रक्षेत्रादिकं कमलापते
बिलसधुलपे कान्तारान्ते समीरण शीतले विपुल यमुना तीरे गोवर्धनाचल मूर्धसु शॉर्ट्सु ललित मुरली नादः पुट इस् नादस् संचारयन् खलु वात्सकं क्वचन दिवसे दैत्यं वत्साकृतिं त्वमुदैक्षताः बिलसदुलपे कान्तारान्ते समीरणशीतले विपुलयमुनातीरे गोवर्धनाचलमूर्धसु ललितमुरलीनादः सञ्चारयन् खलु वात्सकं क्वचन दिवसे दैत्यं वत्साकृतिं त्वमुदैक्षताः
विलसतुलपे कान्तारान्ते समीरणशीतले विपुलयमुनातीरे गोवर्धनाचलमूर्धसु ललितमुरलीनादः सञ्चारयन् खलु वात्सकं क्वचन दिवसे दैत्यं वत्साकृतिं त्वमुदैक्षताः विलसतुलपे कान्तारान्ते समीरणशीतले विपुलयमुनातीरे गोवर्धनाचलमूर्धसु ललितमुरलीनाथः सञ्चारयन् खलु वात्सकं क्वचन दिवसे दैत्यं वत्साकृतिं त्वमुदैक्षताः
विलसद्दुपले कान्तारान्ते समीरणशीतले विपुलयमुनातीरे गोवर्धनाचलमूर्धसु ललितमुरलीनादः सञ्चारयन् खलु वात्सकं क्वचन दिवसे दैत्यं वत्साकृतिं त्वमुदैक्षताः
Vikram, on the first word vilasadulape.
विलसदुलपे कान्तारान्ते समीरणशीतले विपुलयमुनातीरे गोवर्धनाचलमूर्धसु ललितमुरलीनाथः सञ्चारयन् खलु वात्सकं क्वचन दिवसे दैत्यं वत्साकृतिं त्वमुदैक्षताः
Stanza 4. Daikshataha. Okay, அந்த விசிறுக்க இருக்குங்க. Stanza 4. रभस विलसत्पुच्छं विच्छायतोऽस्य विलोकयन् किमपि वलितस्कन्धं रन्ध्रप्रदीक्षमुदीक्षितं तमत चरणे बिभ्रत् बिभ्रामयन् मुहुरुच्चकैः कुहचन महावृक्षे चिक्षेपितक्षतजीवितम्. So one day, when Krishna, Balarama and all the boys were, like I said, it was silent before the storm, everything was going smooth. They were on the banks of Yamuna, where there was, a cool breeze was flowing because of Govardhana mountain and everything there. So, and they were taking care of the calves, and Krishna was playing the flute and everything was going fine. At that point, you saw Krishna Divase one day, Daityam, an Asura, who has come in the form of a Vatsa. Vatsa Kritam is like a calf, who has come in the form of a disguised as a form of a calf. So now what this Asura does is he enters amongst the rest of the calves which are actually grazing there, and he just completely merges into that, so nobody can find out where the Asura is. So Krishna, however, notices that this one calf is there which is very odd, so he points out to Balarama saying that there is this calf whose an asura has actually come in the form of this. And then as this asura wasn't, suddenly he started, he was looking for an opportunity to come and strike Krishna. So Krishna then grabs him by the hind legs and starts like swinging him around. When he starts swinging him with full force, and the asura loses his life, and then Krishna then throws him out on a mahavriksha, on a big tree. Krishna then throws that asura who's in the form of a calf, and then he goes and falls on the tree. Rabasa bilasat pucham vichayatosya bilokayan, kimapi valita skandham randra pratiksham udikshitam tamata charane bibhrad vibramayan. So first is a ba, next is a va. Bibhrad vibramayan muhuruchakaihi, kuhachana mahavrikshe chikshepita ksatajivitam. So then the asura loses his life. So the asura doesn't have a name. He's just called Vatsasura because he comes in the form of a calf. That is disguised as a calf. Rabasa vilasat pucham vichayatosya vilokayan kimapi valitaskandham randra pratiksham udikshitam tamata charane bibhrat vibramayan muhuruchakaihi kuhachana mahavrikshe chikshepita ksatajivitam.
Rabhasa visalat pucham vichayatosya vilokayan kimapi valitaskandam randra pratikshamudikshitam tamadha charane bhibrat vibhramayan muhuruchakaihi kuhachana mahavrikshe chikshepita ksatajivitam. Rabhasa visalat pucham
Vilasat. Vilasat.
Oh, இதுல என்னோட புக்ல விசான்னு போட்டிருக்கு. So
Okay,
sorry. விலசத். Okay, தப்பா போட்டிருக்கு. ரபச விலசத் புச்சம் விச்சாயதோஸ்ய விலோகயன் கிமபி வலிதஸ்கந்தம் ரந்திர பிரதீக்ஷமுதீக்ஷிதம் தமத சரணே பிப்ரத் விப்ராமயன் முஹுருச்சகைஹி குஹச்சன மகாவ்ருக்ஷே சிக்ஷேபிதக்ஷதஜீவிதம்.
प्रभस विलसत् पुच्छं विच्छायतोऽस्य विलोकयन् किमपि विलतस्कन्दं रन्ध्र प्रतीक्षमुदीक्षितं तमथ चरणे बिभ्रद्विभ्रामयन् मुहुरुच्चकैः कुहचन महावृक्षे चिक्षे पृथक्क्षतजीवितम्. रभस विलसत् पुच्छं विच्छायतोऽस्य विलोकयन् किमपि विलसत् स्कन्दं
Sorry, Vikram, அந்த இடத்துல
किमपि वलितस्कन्दं रन्ध्र प्रतीक्षमुदीक्षितं तमथ चरणे बिभ्रद्विभ्रामयन् मुहुरुच्चकैः कुहचन महावृक्षे चिक्षे पृथक्क्षतजीवितम्.
We'll do one more and we'll stop here. Nipatati maha daitye jatya duratmani takshanam nipatana java kshunna kshoniruha kshata kanane divi parimilat vrindarakaha vrindarakah kusumotkaraihi, shirasi bhavato harshat Varshanti Nama Tada Hare. So now Krishna, when he throws his demon on top of a big tree, so this demon who was very evil by birth took a big form, and then he threw him in such a way that when he fell on the tree, all the fruits that were on the tree started falling down, so that all the boys can actually enjoy all the fruits. So all the boys then thank Krishna, saying, "Good job, Krishna, we now got all the fruits," and they were all extremely happy. And also at that time, all the gods who had gathered started showering flowers on your Shirasi Bhavato, on your head. They started showering flowers because this Vatsasura has now been eliminated. Nipatati Mahadeitye Jatya Duratmani Takshanam Nipatana Javakshunna Kshoni Ruha Ksatakanane Divi Parimilat Vrindarakah Kusumotkareihi शिरसि भवतो हर्षात् वर्षन्ति नाम तदा हरे
निपतति महादैत्ये जात्या दुरात्मनि तत्क्षणम् निपतनजवक्षुण्णक्षोणीरुहक्षतकानने दिवि परिमिलत् वृन्दारकाः कुसुमोत्करैः शिरसि भवतो हर्षात् वर्षन्ति नाम तथा हरे निपतति महादैत्ये जात्या दुरात्मनि तत्क्षणम् निपतनजवक्षुण्णक्षोणीरुहक्षतकानने दिवि परिमिलत् वृन्दारकाः कुसुमोत्करैः शिरसि भवतो हर्षात् वर्षन्ति नाम तथा हरे
निपतति महादैत्ये जात्या दुरात्मनि तत्क्षणम् निपतनजवक्षुण्णक्षोणीरुहक्षतकानने दिवि परिमिलद्वृन्दारकाः कुसुमोत्करैः शिरसि भवतो हर्षाद् वर्षन्ति नाम तदा हरे निपतति महादैत्ये जात्या दुरात्मनि तत्क्षणम् निपतनजवक्षुण्णक्षोणीरुहक्षतकानने दिवि परिमिलद्वृन्दारकाः कुसुमोत्करैः शिरसि भवतो हर्षाद् वर्षन्ति नाम तदा हरे.
Okay, we'll stop here since we already had 2 classes this week. सान्द्रानन्दावबोधात्मकमनुपमितं कालदेशावदेभ्यां निर्मुक्तं नित्यमुक्तं निगमशतसहस्रेण निर्भास्यमानम् अस्पष्टं दृष्टमात्रे पुनरुरुपुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावद्भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे हन्त भाग्यं जनानां कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. Thank you everyone. See you all on Saturday.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Rajesh.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'll miss.
I know, Radha. I know.
Sorry about it,
I know.
because
Yeah,
so much
even
stress here. So
Yeah, I know.
that's why.
I know. I understand. No worries.
It will be a nice Parayanam. Wish you
Yeah, I
all
know.
a happy Vishu, happy
Happy
Tamil.
Vishu as well.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New
Happy
Year,
Tamil New Year.
everyone.
yeah, happy wish you everyone.
Okay,
Even I am
happy.
missing Rajesh.
I know, Purna. Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Send us photos. You'll be sending photos.
I will.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay.